Howdy, how's it going? Welcome to my channel, Jessica in Progress. My name is Jessica, and today we're gonna celebrate Valentine's Day together. So essentially what we're going to do is I'm gonna talk about the Improbable Meet Cute collection from Kindle Unlimited as we make vodka pasta. So we're using the Little Broken vodka sauce recipe. I will link it down below. The only thing that I'm doing differently is that I'm not using canned tomatoes. I'm using tomatoes off the vine, which I already boiled to have the skins peeled off. If you don't know how to do that, you essentially just cut a little X on the butt of the tomato and boil it for like a couple minutes until you start seeing the skin peel off on its own, and then it's ready to go. I had Ryan cut up our little onions and shallots. Oh, I'm also adding a shallot. That's different. Because he's better at it and I wanted help. So everything's all ready. Here are my ingredients ready to go down there. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So what is the Improbable Meet Cute collection by Amazon Unlimited, right? This is the same as the Creature collection that they did back in Halloween, but now they're doing it for Valentine's Day. I wonder if they're gonna do a couple more. I am actually excited for these little series, despite them being mediocre at best. Because it means that they're trying to do something. I hope we'll have like another Halloween one. I hope maybe this year we'll have a Christmas one, and we'll see if they do other holidays. The Improbable Meet Cute collection is 6 short stories that all feature Improbable Meet Cutes. The cute thing about this one is that they are all semi-connected, as in they reference something else that happens in another one. So like one of them references the spa, then one of them goes to, one of them references like the princess that's the star of another one, stuff like that. And one of them is like best friends or something, or pen pals with another person that's main. So I am interested to see what the writer's room was for these romance authors. So the romance authors that are part of this are Christina Lauren writing Exception to the Rule, Abby Jimenez writing Worst Wingman Ever, Sally Thorne writing Rosie and the Dreamboat, Jasmine Gilroy writing Drop, Cover, and Hold On, and Ashley Poston writing With Any Luck, and then finally Sarah Wilson writing Royal Valentine, Exception to the Rule. All right, so this is written by Christina Lauren. You might also know her for The Honeymooners, The True Love Experiment, and The Soulmate Equation. I think my oil's ready now. So. So Exception to the Rule, I think, is one of the better ones, if not the best one in this whole series. It follows, I don't remember their names. One of them's Callum, one of them starts with a T. I don't know. It starts with an email chain when they're in high school, and it's a wrong email with the school emails, so it's off by like a number or two. So they start communicating the email being like, Happy Valentine's Day. Thank God someone's gonna talk to me on Valentine's Day and wish me happy Valentine's Day. And it starts off a little cringe. Like, our main girl is one of those, like, she was not like other girls in high school, if you know what I mean. 2 shots of vodka. And it's gonna simmer for like 5 to 7 minutes. It's 7:06. Okay. Oh, I forgot the red paper flakes. Yeah, that's vodka. Okay, so email chain, something, something, something. So they start doing this thing where they email each other on Valentine's Day, and it's kind of like a cute little competition of like who can say it first. So they go through, and the girl in this situation at the beginning is like, we shouldn't tell anyone any information about ourselves because that's weird and creepy, and also it's cute, it's cool that it's anonymous. So they really only go by C and T. Now with this, I started just listening to it audioly because with the KU thing, it comes with both the digital book and the audio book. And that kind of caused me to listen to all of them audio-wise, which was for the best. It's just because of the formatting of this. They're very small emails, and then we have to go through the from, email, to, email, time, date, you know, the whole email formatting thing, which is fine, but I wish we kind of like semi-dropped it or at least reduced it a little bit. It goes on this email chain for a while, it's early high school, and the guy is like 2 years older, I think. And it goes through at least 3 years of high school for the girl, and then all of college, and then they're in the master's program when the end happens. So it's not necessarily a meet cute because it goes over so many years, but it is still a meet cute because this is how they met. They keep it very vague about what they're talking about, and then they talk, and really only talk like once a year. Like on Valentine's Day, they say, Happy Valentine's Day, here's an update of my life to the vaguest extent possible, and then they move on. They do mention COVID a little bit in this, as well as cancer, but they are the briefest mentions. Anyway, we're like halfway through the book when jarring format change. It goes from email exchanges, because at this point it had only been email exchanges, and then it goes to them like an actual written novel with like thoughts and, you know, proper third person perspective, limited third person perspective. I don't remember the first one, if that was the first one, but they've been emailing for like 10 years now ish, and they're like, we should meet up when we go back into town. And they've started sharing like little details about themselves, and they've agreed to meet up. And one of the things that they said was, you know, I've had this weird crush on you just because it's cute, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, yeah, but we've always been interested in someone else, blah, blah, blah. So at this Valentine's Day, neither of them are dating anyone, and they agreed to meet up. But before they meet up, she goes to, in the summer, when they go back to place after college. So they agree to meet up. Anyway, she goes to this party, and there she's like, I hate being at parties. I'm a little loner girl, and I'm also super excited because we just said that we would meet up before going to this because it's Valentine's Day. Anyway, she goes there, and she's annoyed with people there, so she wanders the place. I'm gonna do just a little bit more of that. Perfect. So she's wandering the party, and she comes across like the party's library because it's this rich kid's house or whatever. And while she's there, she hears someone coming into the door. So she quickly hides in a closet in the library. And then it switches to the other guy's point of view. And his name is Callum. He is currently fighting off an ex who they're like friends with benefits with a little bit. And he doesn't want to hook up with her anymore, because he's about to meet up with this other chick that he's been talking to only on Valentine's Day, and also whatever. But this girl is clearly drunk, and she's just like, you're the best lay I've ever had, blah, 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 as he's trying to push her off, while at the same time our main girl is in the closet hearing all of this happen. So then it goes on, and then we find out that they are going to the same college together, and he is the TA of the class that she is currently in. So she messages the email, not knowing that it's him, and is like, oh my god, you wouldn't believe the story that happened, even though she told Callum that she would never tell the story. She tells it to her email guy, because obviously who could know? And that's when Callum is like, that's me. I know who this is now. But she doesn't know. So what he does is he stops being her TA, and starts prepping to like meet her and date her, and then kind of like flirts with her a little bit the next day, and like drops little hints but doesn't come out and say that they're the one that's messaging each other. And then after her test for her class, she tells him that he's no longer her TA, and then he messages her email wise, and then they find out that they're the people that they've been messaging with the entire time, and it's happily ever after. It's really cute. I kind of liked it. I think this is one of the best ones. I gave it like a 3.5 out of it all. Partially covered. Meantime, we cook pasta. Wrong one. The next one that we have is The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. You might know her from Part of Your World and Yours Truly and some other things. This one deals with death of grandma. So our main girl is a hospice nurse, and she is her grandma's hospice nurse. and she is like been specifically requested by her grandma to wear normal clothes because her grandma's like, I don't want to know that I'm dying even though I'm dying. And it also features another dude who has moved into this area at the same time and is like a handyman. And he is helping his brother fix up his new apartment. The meet cute of this is our girl is parked at the apartment complex, and for Valentine's Day, the brother, or the main dude, his brother wants him to put a coupon for a free dick down on the car window shield of his girlfriend, who happens to drive the same car as our main girl. So, brother's girlfriend does not get it. Our main girl does. Handyman, when he figures out, is like, oh my god, that was terrible. And the next day, he figures out which car it is because there's he notices that her tire is slightly flat, and oh, it's feeding time for the dogs. We've got Valentine's Day treats for the dogs. They get extra stuff. What he does is he leaves an apology on her car again. And they start having like a little back and forth on letters from the car note. And he figures out that, you know, she's a nurse, and he gets her like a nurse bobblehead. He adopts a dog. So she gets like him a dog gift card as like thank you for airing up her tire, because him being a handyman is just like, I couldn't stand that your tire was flat and thought I would help you out as an apology. And then she gives him like a $20 gift card for his dog. They meet in person, not knowing that it's, you know, the people that they've been communicating with on the car. They meet in person at the little area's dog park and talk to each other. It's a cute little story. Grandma does die, and then she stops going to that apartment, so they never like see each other again, and they like are sad because they didn't exchange numbers when they met in person, not knowing that this person that, you know, was the car person, the car notes person. You want a lick? You got a lick, no bite. All right, you can go right there. You can come right here. So anyway, Grandma dies, she's no longer there, and the dude is sad, and one of the last parting notes that they did was like, make sure that you're living for happiness because you never know when it's gonna leave you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the dude is a maintenance man, and he has like a job at a different apartment complex, which our main girl happens to live at. So she like schedules a maintenance for a door, and he shows up at her door, and they're like, hey, I know you from the other apartment complex. And then he sees her nurse bobblehead on like the counter, and he's like, where did you get that? And they make the connection, and they're like, oh my god, let's go on a date. And that is the worst wingman ever. And the reason why he's the worst wingman ever is because, again, he put the Valentine's Day coupon on the wrong car. And that's like one of their little running jokes in the notes. It was really cute. Unfortunately, after those two, it really starts going downhill. Okay. The next one we have is Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne. What you might also know Sally Thorne by is like The Hating Game and Second First Impressions. Do I stir this occasionally? Stirring occasionally. And that is a boiling. Perfect. Alexa, set a 10-minute timer.
10 minutes. Starting now.
Alright, so, well, this is just now a waiting game, basically. Rosie and the Dreamboat. Okay, so, Rosie, has this, like, running joke with her sister about, like, always wondering what Rosie's husband is gonna be like, and all of that. Now, her sister is a hotshot something lawyer, hotshot lawyer, because this is a joke. She's a hotshot lawyer, and Rosie is a plant person. She runs a plant store or something. And for Valentine's Day, they are going onto this whole spa thing at this resort. And one thing that they have there is like an isolation chamber. And they make this big show about them being the first person to go into the isolation chamber and all of that. And wouldn't you know it, they make it wrong and don't put the emergency handle in Rosie's and cannot open up Rosie's isolation chamber. And then, but her sister gets out just fine. Now, so they call the fire department and they come in and they start just kind of talking to Rosie and we have, they call him Romeo. I don't remember his actual name, but they call him Romeo because he's such a dreamboat, and he like gets all the women calm and all that when they are needing a rescue from the fire department. Now, the reason that they aren't just like jaws of lifing open this right now is because, you know, it's an $80,000 little thing that they got from Japan, and they can't. Did you get it on your nose? How'd you get it on your nose? And they can't just like ruin it. So like points for, you know, corporations being like, well, you know, do we really want to spend that much on saving one person in this very expensive equipment? Anyway, they are talking to her the entire time as they try and get the manufacturers on the line, but of course it's Tokyo and they're on a different time zone. And they just flirt throughout the entire thing as she's stuck in this isolation chamber. They eventually get out and they eventually have to use like jaws of life, get her out. They meet again after like literally still at the resort, but Romeo, not his real name, is now off. And also her sister leaves her in the middle of this and she's just like, trust me, Rosie, trust me, I'm gonna go finish my spa stuff. You can be stuck in this isolation chamber for like 2 more hours while you have claustrophobia and I'm gonna leave, just trust me. And like, I don't care how hot the man is, I'm not leaving my sister if she's stuck in an isolation chamber. Like, I'm So anyway, she gets out and then they leave the locker room from getting dressed and they meet the guy and his last name is Husband. And it's a funny ha-ha. And then Rosie and the dude go out for coffee. That's that one. I liked it. I thought it was really cute. It's mostly dialogue, so I think the audiobook really helped me like it because they did have 2 different voice actors for it. It was a nice performance. It was cute. The next one is going to be Drop, Cover, and Hold On by Jasmine Gilroy. And I did not like this one at all. Anyway, you might know Jasmine Gilroy from the Wedding Collection. That's what I found with her when I looked up her name online. There we go. Now we're just gonna put a bit of basil in this. Garlic bread. I always forget the garlic bread. Okay. I'm gonna add just a bit more basil. Put that on medium. Put this all back in. Okay. Now you always want to add pasta sauce, or you always want to add pasta water whenever you make sauce, and that's even like the can jars or whatever of like ragu, because that'll help add starch to the sauce and will help it stick to your noodles better. All right, and I almost forgot. So let's not forget that. All right, and then we'll put you over here to be washed. And then we're gonna do some heavy cream. Now I like it a little more rich, so I'm gonna do slightly more than half a cup already to mix in. So in Rosie and the Dreamboat, not Rosie and the Dreamboat, we just finished that one. In Drop, Cover, and Hold On, we are with a woman who has a bakery that she passes by almost every day and goes to all the time. But the last time she was at the bakery, she says the owner growled at her. So she doesn't want to go back there because she thinks that the owner of the bakery hates her. Anyway, she is debating whether or not to go in there for Valentine's Day because she loves their savory croissants as well as their hand pies. But she's like, no, I won't go in. Anyway, this is in California, so as she's passing by, a earthquake happens, and she immediately is just like, she's lived in California her whole life. She knows how to take care of herself for it, so she runs into the bakery that she said she didn't want to go into, and ducks under the thing. And now our guy is not from California. He's from New York. He doesn't know how earthquakes work. So he just kind of shock panics. And she's like, what are you doing? And then like pushes him out of the way as like a big glass thing falls. They talk about it. He apparently doesn't hate her, of course. He loves her or is really infatuated with her. And had saved some of the Valentine's Day goodies for her, hoping that she would stop by. And he knows what her favorites are, and he cooked her blackberry hand pies because, you know, the other day she said that she really likes blackberry. Anyway, they talk for forever as they recover from the earthquake because they can't get out because the sign fell in front, and then there's wires in the back causing like a different problem. Anyway, this one, I hated. It went on for way too long. It was Grumpy Sunshine, but if you like took a 400-page book and shoved it and condensed it down to like 75 pages and went through the whole like Grumpy explains why he's grumpy and that he's not actually grumpy and now he's kind of a little sunshine and the sunshine is very sunshine and understanding. Like if you took like all of that and condensed it, it is condensed Grumpy Sunshine, but it's also way too long. They talk for way too much. I didn't like it. So anyway, I gave that one like 1.5 stars. I haven't starred all of them for you. I don't care. I'm not going back. I might do it at the end. The next one is With Any Luck by Ashley Poston. I was really hoping that this one would be good because I read The Undead Romantics and super loved it by her. And then she also has The 7-Year Slip, which I have not read yet, but plan on reading this year. We're going to add Parmesan to this. Just some Parmesan. A little more. A little more. Okay. And then I know, so the recipe says put the pasta in the sauce, but I know what pans I have here. I'm putting the sauce into the pasta. Probably could use a little more tomato paste. Probably could use a little more balsamic vinegar. Yeah. Anyway, with luck, as we wait for the garlic bread to finish. With Luck by Ashley Poston involves a main girl who is like cursed to be the last kiss before someone finds their true love. So she like has never really had any real romance. Every time she kisses someone, they immediately find someone that is like their forever after. And she comes from like a family who is mostly psychic. Anyway, her best friend is getting married. And she'd had a run-in with, and she's the best man of her best friend, okay? Who's a dude. And the man of honor for the chick getting married. Anyway, our main girl had a run-in with the man of honor previously, and they didn't kiss because he didn't believe her thing and also didn't want it to come true, so they only had like a one-night stand. And then later, as they're doing like the bachelorette party, she gets hella wasted and they cannot find the guy. And she doesn't remember the night all very well and thinks that she kissed him because he was having anxiety. So she thinks that she kissed him in order for like her, curse or whatever to work on him because he didn't, whatever. So they go through this entire thing, like backtracking their steps as they were drunk. Her and the man of honor, try and backtrack their steps. They go like through hijinks trying to figure it out. Like she ordered a whole round for the tavern or whatever, and then they went and got donuts at a convenience store after. And that they skipped out on their bill at the bar when they went to go get donuts. Anyway, they do that, and her and the man of honor are talking, and she's like telling him that she thinks that she kissed him and that he was having anxiety, blah, blah, blah. And like the reasons why, because he wasn't super involved in the wedding planning. And then the chick is like, the bride is like super stressed because her parents wanted it a specific way. Anyway, they figure out that the person that she actually kissed was the man of honor later that night. And then they are like, oh, the curse is solved. And then they also figured out that the bride and groom went to elope somewhere else and said, screw their actual wedding that they spent months planning and a bunch of money on, because it's not what any of them wanted. It was fine. Like, I don't really know what to think about this one. It was fine. Like, it wasn't amazing, but it also wasn't terrible. Anyway, the very last one was Royal Valentine by Sarah Wilson. You might know her from The Chemistry of Love, The Paid Bridesmaid, and The Roommate. I also super hated this one. We are following a princess who has swapped with a peasant so she can walk around Rome by herself without seeing paparazzi. But what she does is, like, she has a headache, so she takes aspirin, only it wasn't aspirin that she took, it was like Xanax or something, so she ends up super passing out on the stairs, like in the middle of Rome, and she gets picked up by her main guy and his cousin or something, and she like wakes up being like, oh my god, I've been kidnapped. They talk for a bit, the dude is into photography, ? And they just go around having their day at Rome. And then at the end of their date, they get ambushed by paparazzi, and both of them go, and they both are lying to each other about who they are. So both of them go, oh no, they found me. And then they go, wait, they found you? I thought they found me. And then they like run off, and then they figure out that she is actually the princess of Moldavia or whatever, and he is a prince of a small town, a small Scottish island or something, and he doesn't want like the royalty thing, so they like have this whole thing, and then he visits her in Moldavia, and they're like, we could actually try and work it out. It was really, it was too long. Like, I summarized it really quickly. It was really long. It took forever. I did not like it. I put it on like 2x speed, and that was not fast enough. Like, it took forever to get to that point. They were kind of boring. They were kind of flat. I did not really enjoy most of the Improbable Meet Cute collection. I think it was an interesting idea in theory. I think the biggest problem is it wasn't just Improbable Meet Cutes for all of the people. It was Improbable Meet Cutes for your true love. Period, done. And we also need to make sure that it is for their true love. Like, I would have liked it to be a little more open-ended when it came like, this is a meet cute, this is nice, and you get like the butterflies of the first date, and not like, okay, cool, whole romance novel, but really condensed down short story. It was fine. All of them were fine. Like, it wasn't, I wouldn't waste my time reading them. If you were thinking about it, I wouldn't waste my time reading them. But yeah, I hope that Amazon Unlimited keeps doing these little collections or what have you. But otherwise, let's have some pasta. Okay. My pasta. Okay, with the noodles, it's a lot better. It could be a little more tomatoey. But that's my fault, because I was like 4 ounces short with the tomatoes that I picked. So I should have over-encumbered with a little more tomato paste. I could have put more red pepper flakes, but otherwise, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, that was the Improbable Meet Cute collection from Amazon, as well as vodka pasta for Valentine's Day. I hope you didn't waste your time with the Improbable Meet Cute collection, but if you did, let me know what you thought of them down below. I think in order, Worst Wingman, exception to the rule. Rosie and the Dreamboat and With Any Luck are kind of like tied for third. And then I think I would rather read Your Royal Valentine than Drop Cover and Hold On, but not by much. Anyway, that's been everything. My name has been Jessica. Alexa, stop. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, we are all in progress. Bye.